we go. All right, we're gonna do a podcast. That's us. Hey, we haven't done this in a minute.
It has been some time, yes.
Oh my gosh. Geez. I got some drugs that I want to show you.
What?
They're called chill pills. Every beat a moment. This is from the Playa Pharmacy. This was the larger pill bottle was my actual pill bottle, and then this is the one that was abandoned. And what you do is
Okay, what you do is
you go to the pharmacy. You check in. It's like right in the middle of the two camps. So if you're gonna cross the river or the railroad tracks rather, you're gonna run into the pharmacy.
It's the first I've ever heard of there being a pharmacy at one of these things. This is
so. I don't know if you can read the top of the thing. Oh god, that's very on fire. The top of it says, "Do not eat this game."
Do not eat this game.
Eat this game.
What?
This is one of the pills. This is, what does it say? I got a little pamphlet. It is Perplexa, and it you give it to somebody to take when you have a question, a fundamental philosophical question that you'd like answered. You give them a Perplexa, and then they answer it because it's the pill. You got to obey the pill. I also have a couple of.
So, can you hand me that pill? I feel like I need to understand.
You're not going to eat it, though, right?
No, it said don't eat this game. Okay. So I'm gonna follow directions like a good boy. I can't believe I caught that.
Shit. Nice catch.
This is like a crafting bead.
That's the pill, Joe.
This
pill that causes questions to be asked.
Oh, it's a suppository. I see.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about putting it up the butt. Next year, I'm sure they will.
There you go. I've tossed your crafting bead suppository back to you here.
This is Palexa.
Palexa?
I'm gonna give this to you. This is not me for. Okay, so you can guess this one.
I lost it.
No.
No, there it is.
No. Oh, there. Okay.
There it is. Oh, it's a little heart.
So,
and also a crafting bead.
It's a suppository.
Oh no, that would be a terrible suppository. It's like
I'm going to read directly.
It's like Valentine's heart shaped.
Generates friendship on contact.
Oh,
indicated to build long-lasting and counteract loneliness.
So you find someone that you think seems fun. You give them one of these, and they have to know what that means.
Or you can read the instructions. I mean, everybody's supposed to stop by the pharmacy, but not everybody does.
I mean, that's the American healthcare system in a nutshell. That's. I'm not still putting off an EKG. What are you talking about?
Welcome to DeRazzled. The podcast takes award-winning films and fixes them.
Except
for today and many other times. We'll get to it. So we got a bit of a special episode for you. You see, after we introduce our podcast, which we've done. Oh, I'm Jack, just in case you were wondering. And here to suffer alongside me, as always, is Joe.
Hi, everybody.
We're taking a weird adventure today, aren't we?
You took the weird adventure, and now you're taking us on a weird retelling.
Right. Yes. So, for reasons I'll get to, I decided to go to a regional Burning Man called Constellation Burn. And because I don't know how to stop working, while I was there, I took mostly 1-minute clips. Mostly. Describing what's happening around me, how I'm feeling, how others are feeling. It's if you don't know what Burning Man is, it is a festival of sorts, kind of a floating community. The traditional one, the big one, is known for being in the desert.
Yes. But they do them all over the place.
Yeah. We have 2 that I'm aware of here. I think there's a 3rd one. By here I mean Pennsylvania.
Is it actually in Pennsylvania? I always forget if it's like just in Pennsylvania or if it's in a different state, like just over the border.
There's one in Bedford.
Okay.
I'm not the one I went to is in West Virginia. I think there's
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So you go there, you have a camp, or you don't have a camp. Most people have a camp. Different people set up different things, different events. It all culminates in the burning of the effigy. It can be a man. Ours wasn't.
What was yours? I know you sent you had posted video of it, but I can't remember like what it actually was.
Yes. So ours was more of an art piece, sort of a, and I will poorly describe it in the found audio, if you will. But it reminded me of the Christmas ornaments you get where you light the candles and then the top spins because of heat that rises.
Right.
It was like that, but with fireworks.
Which is sweet.
Yeah. That's really the best way I can describe it. Fire, make spin, go boom.
Fantastic.
Since this is a lot of rowdy people, as you can imagine, there's a lot of drinking, some drugs, some fornication.
I've always heard there's some fucking and some drugging.
Not had by this fella. No, but really, I'm lonely.
Jack, I don't think Becca would approve.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
We'll get into what some of the individual camps did or did not do, because much like band time, things run on burn time.
Sure. Yeah.
Which, me being a person who's always 15 minutes early because I'm a good theater child.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm ready. And they're like, oh, we didn't get started setting up yet.
Do you need a hand? I need this. Yeah. It needs to happen on time. Can we
get a hand over here?
Just
running behind.
Can we set up lights? Set up lights. We have cables.
Oh my god, the parking area had massive soul suckers. Just giant lights, for filming.
Yeah.
So it was like dark, very, very dark. We were on the top of a mountain in a field, surrounded by woods. Nate's running the parking area, and the soul suckers kick on. I'm like, it's daytime again. Wonderful.
Those things are impressive.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
So without further ado, enjoy the fantabulous audio that was recorded at Burning Man, and Joe and I will be back after that.
I know I enjoyed it, so I hope you all enjoy it just as much as I did.
It was enlightening to me, as I don't remember certain portions of that trip. All right, enjoy, you crazy kids. We'll see you afterwards. I've lost my Perplexa.
I mean, I've got your. Is this one also called Perplexa, or is this one
Palexa?
It's Palexa. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Okay, are there other ones?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are we going to cover those, or
I didn't plan on it, but we can do it in this little middle section.
Yeah, I mean, this will be like deleted scenes material.
Yeah. So you go to the pharmacist, and
yes.
Like, well, what is the experience you're looking for at Burning Man? And I was like, I want to make new friends, and I want to learn new things. And then what does this feed here? Oh, right. This is Mythium.
Mythium.
Looks like the back of a
that's fun.
Fancy beetle.
Yeah.
And it is taken before you go into an adventure, so it is epic, mythical.
Okay.
So
that's the nerd drug. It's the LARP drug.
Here's the thing about Burning Man. They're all a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah. I know the people you went with. Yeah, of course they are.
Well, like I was initially intimidated. Well, I was very intimidated at the idea of going to a burn.
Sure.
I've lived the vanilla lifestyle for a good long time.
Well, I mean, this is all part of you stepping out of that.
Yes. And I haven't actually looked what's in this other bottle.
Oh, really?
It looks like there's some Perplexa as well.
Is this one just actual drugs?
This is just straight mercury.
Oh no!
Playing with a ball of mercury. This one has Flatterall.
Ooh.
Helps for saying nice things that will make people feel good. Instantly charms, improves confidence and posture. I also have.
That's fun.
I don't know how to say that. Schmechtel?
What?
Schmechtel?
Okay, let me see the paper.
The bottom.
Oh god damn it! Oh, this chair's so squeaky. Okay.
So this bead looks like a teardrop. Shiny teardrop.
Is it?
Bottom one, second to
Schlemechtel?
Schlemechtel.
Schlemechtel.
There you go. What does Schlemechtel do?
Just say no to don't. No way, oy vey. Supports graceful recovery from gracelessness, clumsiness, and idiocy. Side effects include a little humility and a whole lot of humanity. This.
I probably could have used some of that, but no, this is not my prescription. It is somebody from our camp, so I'm curious to know.
Jesus Christ. This. I mean, bravo to whoever put this graphic together, because
it's really nice.
It's both really good pictures of the beads, so that it would be really hard to mistake one for another or to think that these were actually ingestible. Wait, why does it say Le Guin along the side? Along the left-hand margin, one of the things that's there says Le Guin. Oh wait, there's an explanation on the back.
I also have a little cheat sheet I can open up here.
Okay, these are the quote unquote manufacturers are. I guess these are different.
They really kind of went full force into the game.
Yeah,
giving different pharmaceutical companies, Miser, Le Guin, United Grandmother Front,
Wernicke's Gyrus.
There's a theme song which I will not say.
Oh, there is a theme song.
But yeah, it was probably one of my favorite camps. One of the coolest ideas.
Moment enabler Playa Pharmacy. Okay, yeah, that's undeniably fun. Le Guin caught my eye though because of the author Ursula K. Le Guin. Right, yeah. So that's why I got excited. But
so that's not for the actual episode, but it's a fun little.
Spazalam is a hell of a name. Boot Scootrin.
I was a little too inebriated during the entire process to read such fine print. So, like, once I got the vaguest idea of what it was, such as Palexa, I'm like, for friends.
Yeah.
But I handed out some Palexa. I handed out some Perplexa. And I think I handed out almost all of my Mythium.
Nice. That's awesome. Esperanzac is also quite good. Supports healing from trauma, increases intensity of hope, optimism, and positive intentions for the future. May cause chin-uppedness and heightened expectations.
Yeah, that's the thing about the burn is like my image of Burning Man prior to going was just like, it's a 4-day party on like drugs and dancing.
Well, I mean, Burning Man proper has kind of. We'll talk more about that when we get in, when we come back for the real content. But yeah, it has sullied the name of Burns in general. I think at this point,
I think there was only one person with us who had done
the big burn,
possibly two.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm ready to go into the show proper if you want.
All right, let's do it.
Well, I hope you've all enjoyed yourself. That is a thing that we did. That I did.
So that you did. Yeah, that you and a great number of our friends and acquaintances did.
Yeah. I just want to spend a little bit of time now that it's been a week and a half, 2 weeks.
It's been a couple weeks now. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, as of recording, this is October 22nd. So you've been back for like 10 days.
Yeah, something like that. Just talk about what happened. Maybe fill in some of the gaps, like the Playa Pharmacy.
Right, because you didn't mention the Playa Pharmacy in any of your messages, which I kind of wish you had, because that would have been a hell of a thing to listen to.
There's so much that happened that, I wanted to balance between stopping recording what had happened and just experiencing it.
Sure, yeah, you want to be in the moment for as much as you possibly can. Like, I'm sure there weren't a whole bunch of other people actively recording their experiences and sending them back home to some jag.
Right. Which I'm amazed it actually sent. It was the middle of nowhere.
I think there was some delay in some of them sending, but
Sure.
I like every single one sent without issue.
So, man, where do we start? I guess my impressions prior and then after.
Oh yeah, let's start there. Yeah, because I still have having never been to one, but knowing a lot of people who have gone to them, because I know pretty much all the people that Jack went with, and largely because I know an ex, or I have an ex who had been with those people and gone with those people for several years. But talk about your perception beforehand, and then we'll go to how you feel after.
So my perception prior was just images that I'd seen from Burning Man proper.
Sure.
A lot of goobers in cool clothing or no clothing.
There's a lot of nudity, to my understanding, or at least some nudity.
I would imagine probably more so in the desert environment.
Oh yeah. Because it's cold. You did mention being pretty damn cold.
The first day and night was chilly. After that, it's fucking cold.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool because I got a nice sunburn. I'm like, it's cold. Nothing to worry about here, you idiot. It's not like you're walking around in the open field sun for hours.
Right.
Which like none of us really realized until the people that I drove up with. We stopped at Sheets, which is always a delight.
It is always nice.
We looked in the mirror and we're like, we're burnt.
Yep.
we are quite right. So yeah, I was like, it's just a party. It's just like a party turned up to 11.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned to you that as a youth, I would watch Wild on E on E Entertainment Channel.
Yes, I think you have mentioned that before.
Which was just like, let's just take a bunch of like party drugs and dance, and occasionally there's like some other adventuring happening, and then in between that, it was like Girls Gone Wild commercials. Well, aged poorly at that exact moment, and also much worse since then.
Yes.
But it's like seeing that, I was like, I want to go on adventures and have fun. Not even so much the drinking and the booze at that point. Just like, I want to have adventures beyond my normal boring life, and like I'll do that.
Yes.
And that was one of the reasons, that childhood desire was one of the reasons that pushed me to eventually go to a burn.
Okay. Because I didn't know it stemmed quite that far back for you. That's fascinating.
Yeah. I've always wanted to. People are like, I've always wanted to travel. I'm like, no, but I want to get into the guts.
Yeah.
Like, where's the weird shit?
Yeah, you want to Bourdain this.
Yeah. I've told a number of people that I want to be like the Anthony Bourdain of perverts.
It's never not going to be a funny statement, but also like it's so fitting for you.
Yeah,
like, it is.
Yeah. It's not even that I want to see like just the pervert shit. It's that
you want to go off the beaten path.
I want to go off the beaten path, and because of my upbringing and let's say religious upbringing, where it's like boobies and sex are bad, then to me the weirdest shit is boobies and sex, but weird. I think there might be a future episode, which we'll talk about that in a minute. Possibly going to one of Pittsburgh's local fuck clubs. Possibly with a friend of the podcast.
Excellent.
But so my initial idea was like, it's just a bunch of people that are like partying up late, doing drugs, and then sleeping in camping areas during the day. It's not that.
Sure.
But I mean, there's probably, I actually have the map with me. Let's see here. There were, I can't count that high. Okay. Well, they split it between, there we go. Okay. Nope, that didn't help. Well, there are theme camps, which is what I was a part of.
Sure.
And there are art installations, which also sometimes are also camps.
Right. That's part of the thing that I think most people don't know about these kind of events, is that they are largely art installation focused, but like for a lot of people anyway. Like there are people who are there just to camp and have fun, but there are other people who are there with the intention of putting together an experience for people.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit of the Playa Pharmacy. Early, Steve and I visited I forget the
friend of the podcast, Steve Luciano from our Battlefield Earth episode,
and
upcoming Paul Verhoeven month shenanigans.
That poor bastard. We visited a little like I said, it was mostly field, but there's a little patch of woods off to the side that somebody like set up mirrors and like glowy shit. There's a lot of glowy shit.
Yeah.
At Burns, and it had like the 7 deadly sins, and you're like looking in these mirrors and that are like etched with different symbols.
Yeah.
And meant to like reflect in them. There's another installation that they had like perfectly angled the chairs for stargazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Which
also if I had been there, I probably would have ended up taking some mushrooms, and that would have been perfect for me.
We'll get to that. So, being in a city, it's a little hard to see the stars, so it was really nice to kind of like lean back.
It's always so satisfying.
Yeah,
I remember our friend Trish, her family has a cabin out near a lake somewhere. I forget where exactly, but Becca and I went out there last summer, and the night sky was so clear and so filled with stars. Like you could see parts of the fucking Milky Way.
Yeah,
and it's just like
that's
beautiful. The fucking best. I love being able to see that. You never get that here because all the light pollution.
No. Oh my god, no. Well, I remember in being a senior in high school, and at that point I lived not on a farm, but like on a farm.
Basically,
it was next. Yeah. It was right next to us.
Yeah.
And I would little emo sad Jack would go stand in the field and be like, "I'm so small, but it's so pretty."
And then you hit play on your Walkman and play Helena one more time.
No, it was Death Cab then.
Oh man.
Yeah. Woof. So yeah, there's a lot of art installations. There's a lot of dancing, a lot of booze. There's a lot of there's like little seminars. There's a whole schedule. Like I think I mentioned in the video or in the audio that I wanted to go to a consent talk.
Yeah.
Which, as far as I'm aware, didn't happen, but also drugs. There was, I know Nate went to a camp that did different yoga, like de-stressing stuff. They also did like the postcards for moms. They wrote down they were pretty cool. There was somebody who just wanted to do tiny hats, so they got a grant to do a bunch of like tiny hats and stuff.
Little hats.
Little hats.
A bunch of little hats.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, God, there's almost so much to talk about that's like, where do you start? Let's talk about food.
Let's talk about food, because you did specifically bring up in your recordings the food glory hole.
Oh my god! So
I know you talked about that a little bit, but I need more details about what the fuck this was.
Absolutely, happy to talk about the food glory hole. It was one of the I had the Hitchhiker's Guide prior to going there.
I love that that's what they call their whole program.
And I'd gone through and like, these are the ones I want to do. These are the ones I'm going to go ahead and skip.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple in here that I, being very naive, just a wee babe to Burning Man, was like, are they really going to do that? No. No.
Which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah. But, so being this is an audio medium, this doesn't make sense. But this is the cup that
you took with
everywhere.
Yeah.
Just an enamel cup, but
yeah, it's nice, like red and white speckled enamel cup that's covered in a bunch of stickers.
Yeah, so something that a lot of the camps had is camp stickers.
I know our friend Sean made the one for your camp, the Easy Bake Coven,
which is great. It's a little blue and pink microwave with pentagrams on it. I also have one on here from Dirt Go Burr.
Dirt Go Burr is just such an amusing name to me.
Which not to be confused with Castle Dirt.
Castle Dirt
or Castle Dirtbag.
Castle Dirt. Jesus. Okay,
those are our pals. Those are basically anybody who like the overflow went into that camp.
Nice.
And then I do want to mention Bourbon Brigade for witnessing me twice.
Oh right, yeah, there was some Mad Max Fury Road-esque shenanigans with because I know I saw a picture of you with silver spray all over your mouth.
Oh, yeah. So they were our neighbors to the right, and you could be witness.
Great.
They would pour too much Old Crow in your cup.
Oh,
You'd slam it,
man.
and then immediately you better have your eyes closed and your mouth closed if you're not an insane person like me, because they're going to spray you with a silver cake spray.
No, mouth open, man.
Oh, I did. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
But like the number of people that did not expect that. I'm like, did we not all watch the same?
Did we not see Fury Road? Like, do you not remember that?
Because the number of people that would, I mean, they're probably cringing because Old Crow's fucking disgusting.
Old Crow's rough. That's, yeah.
There was one person at, I think Love Lab was the dance.
Yeah, that was the big dance one. The big music you were hearing in the background of some of those recordings.
Love Lab was a big one. Dirt Go Burr was the little like smaller localized one. But at Love Lab, Bourbon Brigade had taken it for the bar.
Oh my god! so they witnessing people from behind the bar,
right? Yeah.
That rules.
Yeah, if there's a place that was like centralized drug taking, it was Love Lab.
Yeah.
So you'd have people like, oh, and they're like, all right, well, we're gonna witness you, and they're like, okay. And then they just get their face covered in they're like, what's happening?
Oh god!
Love Lab. If you wanted to like just get the purest cut of Burning Man, you could probably just stayed at Love Lab the whole time.
Nice.
Because you had like nudity, you had bizarre costumes, you had dancing, you had music, you have drugs, you have alcohol. Mm-hmm. You had fucking people. They had a little like snuggle area, but people just were sleeping.
Sure.
Which I has to have been drug induced, right? Like, there's no way you can sleep through that.
Oh no! Well, there's probably like one guy who's just like, oh, this is like home. Okay.
They did look very comfortable.
I believe that.
So
I mean, when you're in a place where you're letting your inhibitions down, or go entirely, like you're gonna get either real uncomfortable or real comfortable. it's one or the other.
So two things before I forget about them. The first thing, there's a couple of camps that did booze. Two of them were like, oh, would you like to drink? We'd love to make that for you. And then the other two were like, brown or clear?
I laughed so goddamn hard about your first impression of mead.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna try mead for the first time. Joe, I don't like mead. Just
went in my mouth, touched my tongue, immediately was rejected.
Oh god!
Full body rejection. It might have been just like I feel like I've had mead before. I didn't have that strong a reaction, but their IPA was great.
Nice.
I forget what the camp. That camp was Cenocelophobia, I want to say. They're cool. They were one of the first ones that were open.
Nice.
And then the other ones were like brown or clear, and I'm like, just not brown.
Just not rum. Yeah. Please don't kill me.
Yeah, I don't want.
I don't want to die here.
I forget what that camp was called. They also did naked women reading stories.
Right. I remember you mentioning that, which is fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
They weren't quite naked because it was fucking freezing.
Yeah, I imagine they stripped down as much as they felt comfortable doing.
Well, they stripped down and then they were wearing like a fur coat.
Okay, sure.
So it was like saucy reading.
Okay, saucy is a good descriptor for that. Yeah.
Like I was wearing on the coldest day, I was wearing like 5 layers.
Wow.
I was wearing the pajamas that Scott had recommended, which were excellent.
Yes, you did mention those warmed you up right quick.
And then I wore like a t-shirt and a dress, and then another jacket,
nice.
And then one of those poofy vests over the top of it.
I think my favorite thing regarding the dress, aside from you got the chance to wear a dress in a comfortable, like judgment-free environment like that, is that you went shopping for the dresses in between the wedding ceremony and wedding reception for 2 of the actors from American Curse.
Gorgeous wedding, delightful to see those two.
Yes,
just love emanating from their every pore.
Yeah.
but that was the only time that I could go dress shopping with Belinda before the burn.
Yep.
So we went to the ceremony, stopped at Goodwill to buy some dresses, try them on, and then went to the reception.
Yes, which was fantastic.
This is the day after I'm like kind of hungover from your birthday party.
Yeah. Oh God.
Bottle of Irish whiskey, right?
I think it was. It's called Writer's Tears.
Yeah.
Oh God, I got so drunk that weekend. Like between that, just drinking at the wedding, and then the day after the wedding, we had writers group, and we did brunch writers group complete with mimosas. I had like nice 3 or 4 mimosas, and then that evening we went to my mom's for dinner with my family, and I had a couple of beers there, and then my dad said some racist stuff. And then I hit a wall real hard. I was like, we have to go home.
So we both drink quite a lot.
Yeah.
Just different weekends. Okay.
Yeah.
Woof. To food.
Food. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be a two-parter.
No, it's not. This is not going to be a two-parter.
You're camping. There's no electricity unless you bring the electricity with you. There was a mashed potato bar,
which is awesome.
Amazing. Just like tons of shit.
I would spend a good deal of time there.
Yeah. They also had a pizza night that I missed.
Ooh. I mean, that rules.
So the reason you take your cup with you everywhere is people are going to offer you something to eat or drink.
Yeah.
You need to have a cup.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to provide the cups. They're not going to provide the plates.
Right. Which is part of the ethos of the larger event.
Yes. So there's the 10 principles of Burning Man, which I'm not going to go into.
You can find them. You can Google those pretty easily. One of the big ones, though, is like nothing out of place and you leave no trace of you being there, which actual Burning Man has done a real fucking shitty job of lately, but that's a different story.
Moop material out of place.
Yes. I when you brought that up in your recordings, like, oh, I remember what this means, and I thought it was matter out of place, but I was close.
Yeah, it is matter. Yeah. You're right.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, which they did an excellent job.
Yes.
Of doing.
Yeah, my understanding is the regional burns do a fantastic job of that kind of thing. So because they genuinely care about the places that are hosting them.
A lot of time it's private property.
Yeah.
That is allowing people to stay there. So I got this was all on I think Friday night. So it was like really cold, really rainy, not freezing yet.
Sure.
But drinking a lot of booze from all the camps. Went and got mashed potato bar in my cup. Went to Justice League bar. They're like, we're gonna wash that cup before we put a delicious mixed drink in it. Thank you guys.
Yes.
I appreciate that. They didn't have to, but I appreciate
that. Was very nice. Yes.
There's a ramen noodle, college ramen noodle. So one of the
little nostalgia hit there.
Yeah, one of the running gags of this burn was the field. That area is a crawfish
preserve, right? Yes.
And certain camps really ran with that.
Yeah, you got kind of trolled. You got duped a little bit. You got trolled out of bringing a fucking cooler.
Yeah, because they're like, no coolers, it'll damage the habitat of the crayfish, which is not true.
Dumb.
I was just very worried about committing a faux pas.
Yes, yeah, I understand.
So I did not bring a cooler, which is fine.
You had your dry goods.
I had my dry goods.
Yeah.
I did not go hungry. There was also so much food.
Which is awesome.
I think it was Fuck a Duck Camp that offered the college ramen. And because of thematically, they added shrimp to it.
Okay.
Saying that it was the shrimp or the crayfish that had been saved. And like, I'm not a big meat eater, but by like day 3, I was so hungry for meat.
Oh, really?
It didn't matter what it was. Somebody brought a pallet of Spam.
Oh my God!
Like,
really?
Yeah. Of turkey Spam.
Interesting. I didn't know there was turkey Spam.
God damn it! I had probably like 4 of them, like 4 whole cans myself.
Jesus Christ!
Like I think I took a week off the end of my life.
God
I didn't
damn.
feel good about it because it's
No.
Spam, And I felt worse because I'm like, actually, I don't like this. Fuck.
I mean, my understanding is spam is nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be, but
I haven't had spam since I was like 5. Let alone turkey spam.
I don't think I've ever actually had it. But
That's
neither here nor there.
Oh God, I forget who. Somebody had hot dog pokies for the fire, and we put some spam on it, a little bit of char.
Nice,
so good.
I'd get down on that. So this food glory hole we still haven't talked about.
Food glory hole. So yeah, I was there's a bunch of row of porta potties, and I was taking a morning dookie.
Yes,
and I was just like, what is happening out there? There was a couple of megaphones, but it's like, how do you like your glory hole? I'm like, what is happening? So I went out and there was a line of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you like your glory hole? You like it spicy? You like it sweet? I'm like, I could eat something. Let's do this. It had already kind of been revealed to me that it's always a hot dog.
It's always a hot dog. Okay. I mean, that tracks.
Right.
Like it would have to be, right? It would be weird if it was something else. No, well, if you're going sweet, maybe a banana. But
oh God, can you imagine just like an unpeeled banana in your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
No, you bend down and you open your mouth, you get a hot dog with a bun shoved in your mouth, and then you put your condiments on it and go about your day. They had a wonderful array of toppings.
Oh yeah,
got to try some different spices. Got what's the green salsa type spice?
Like relish?
No, it's like for like a taco. It's like a verde.
Oh yeah, salsa verde.
Yeah, they had like a spicier version of that. It was pretty yummy. Yeah.
Okay.
A couple places did grilled cheeses.
Neat.
There was one place that was like, bring your bread, we'll bring the cheese.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Which they were pretty cool about. It's like, if one person brings a loaf of bread, not everyone needs to bring a loaf. So I think Sean brought a loaf and we had some grilled cheese.
Excellent.
Yeah. A lot of food.
I'm surprised at the variety of foods, actually. Mm-hmm. I would not have expected the ramen experience or the mashed potato bar. Like the food glory hole sounds like the kind of ridiculous nonsense that would happen at a burn, but like the other stuff is like, wow, that's really like well planned out and like actually takes some resources and some infrastructure to really like be able to do effectively.
Yeah. Some people had full campers.
Yeah.
We didn't. We just had tents.
Right.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, there was one camp that their whole gimmick was hydration. They were the hydration station.
Okay. Well, that's important.
Yeah. I think they're one that shows up to like all the different burns. So like during the summer, that would have been really helpful.
Oh yeah.
I had brought a gallon of water, one per day, and I brought a bunch of powdered Pedialyte.
Nice.
Things.
That was smart.
Best idea I had.
Yeah.
And then because it was very blue, I wrote antifreeze on it.
That brilliant.
And because it's a burn, people were concerned. Because, things get eaten and drank that shouldn't be.
Sure.
But also people got curious. And there's a very like giving. So there's the 10 principles, right?
Yes.
There's one of the big themes being like, you need to be self-sufficient. Like nobody needs to take care of you because then you become what is referred to as a sparkle pony, which is very pretty and there to be pretty, but is completely incompetent and relies on other people to survive.
Gotcha.
A sparkle pony. I did not want to be a sparkle pony.
No, you hate horses.
I don't like horses. Ponies are okay, but even still.
They're just small horses.
They're just small horses. They still got the people teeth.
They still walk on their fingernails.
So people come like, you're drinking antifreeze? Like, yeah, you want some? And they're like, yeah.
That's the correct response. If somebody actually asks, do you want some? Unless it's real antifreeze, and they go, no, I'm calling an ambulance.
Right. What I did not know was at previous burns, there had been something, I think it was like sugar water or something. It looked exactly the same as my antifreeze.
Oh.
Except for the sugar water was like 98 proof. alcohol.
Oh God!
Just like
so wait, so were these people then like disappointed that they were just getting Pedialyte?
I got a couple people that were surprised. Some people were just like, huh. There's people that asked me beforehand. They're like, "This is not either sugar water or antifreeze." I'm like, "No, it's just Pedialyte." Or I would tell them like, "Enjoy this antifreeze. It's Pedialyte flavored."
That should have been a signal right away.
Right. Which honestly, like, one of the things you kind of want to do at a burn is contribute in some way.
Right.
Because it's basically a small community for the weekend. I might just make a bunch of antifreeze.
Just hand it out.
Because there's plenty of people that needed some extra hydration.
Oh yeah, no, that's a service right there.
But Hydration Station had water, but it also had like lemons, cucumbers. I never tried.
Fancy it up.
Yeah, jalapeno water.
Jalapeno
That's
water.
Pretty good.
Like, I never thought of that.
Just enough to be like a little spicy, but mostly just for flavor.
All right.
Yeah. So those are some of the more, not even the most fantastical, just like some of the things that were there.
So you mentioned that there were some things on the schedule that didn't actually happen. Yeah. So can you give me some examples of these kind of troll events?
Oh, you mean the coffee enema?
That's one.
Yeah. I showed up for coffee enema. There was no coffee enemas to be had.
I brought my own roast for this.
There was a roast station.
Good.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
That was the first nudity I saw. Was this
at the coffee station?
Yeah. I was there was a charge station. I was at the charge station.
Sure.
And I was like not really awake, staring down the playa, and this like gorgeous woman emerges from a tent. I'm like, this is not, you don't want to sexualize nudity there.
Right.
Followed by her very naked husband, and then they started making coffee for everybody. And I was like, nice,
neat.
Yeah, because I probably known to everybody else except for me, but coffee crystals taste like shit.
Yeah, no, coffee crystals are fucking awful.
That's what I brought. It's actually what I'm drinking right now. It's the last of the coffee crystals.
God, I'm sorry.
Cheers. It's like the LaCroix of coffee. Like,
that's a good way to look at it, actually. Yeah. Like it maybe has been told what coffee tastes like.
Right.
It's a whisper of coffee.
So yeah, what was it saying? Coffee, enema. Right.
Those two words you put together on a regular basis.
Backtrack there a little bit. So that didn't exist. There was also not, unfortunately, I don't believe there was a Morbius movie night.
And that was the thing that upset me. So the whole reason that Jack was sending me these voicemails is that we were going to do this neat found footage thing where I wake up and find all these files on my computer, and they are voicemails of Jack going to the burn and then experiencing Morbius while fucked out of his mind on whatever. And it never happened.
Now, there's like a 0.01% chance that it did happen, and it just
the once though,
past.
Because like the way it was billed in the event description was every night at midnight, like masterpiece marathon or whatever.
But if it did happen, it was while I was just like schmammered on everything, and I was like, I probably hallucinated Morbius. Is probably what happened.
What is your recollection of your Morbius hallucinations, Jack?
I don't like it. I forget what that camp was that was showing different videos, but most of the time when I was sober and walking by there, they were just showing like different short films, just stuff you would see it if you went to like a film festival.
Okay, sure.
Included so I did take shrooms while I was there.
Nice.
And it was a very short trip. Because I had not planned ahead, I got the like leftover shrooms.
Okay.
Very generous. Because they're still shrooms.
Yeah.
So my trip was shorter and less intense than the other time I tried shrooms.
Okay. Yeah. So you didn't have like full on hallucinatory experience. Like you said, you had like maybe some heightened colors and stuff.
Heightened colors. I think I mentioned in the audio that during the actual effigy burn, I had to go pee.
Yeah.
went to the porta potty.
Well, you recorded from the porta potty, if I remember correctly.
That was a different time.
Okay.
Yes. But I was like in the porta potty doing my business, and I started seeing some like light visuals, just like some like sprinkling of glitter.
Oh, you did mention that in one of your recordings, I think. Yeah.
I came out and I was like, I had this like very brief moment of being one with the universe, and I went back over to my group that were still at the effigy. The effigy had burned, and I saw what looked to be like a hangman drawing, and at the end of the rope, instead of a man, it was a cooler, and they were burning the cooler. I was like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, they're burning the cooler. I'm like, I know. And they're like, so you can have a cooler bird. And I was done. my moment of being one with the universe.
I can't I can't think of anything to just pull you right back to fucking Earth faster than that level of pun.
I'm so mad. Fuck each and every one of you. I'm going back to the porta potty.
Me and Morbius hanging out in the porta potty watching the glitter.
But after that, we went back towards the camp. I think Steve and I had stayed the longest at the actual burn.
Yeah.
And we were meandering back, and we were both quite shroomed up.
Hell yeah.
And I passed the video, whatever the video camp was.
The Blockbuster.
And I'm looking at their giant screen. It was a projector. And I see a bunch of Jerry Lewis's doing the Thriller dance.
What?
I'm like, I don't think I'm that messed up. What? And I'm just staring at this.
I would question reality upon seeing that.
Steve's using the restroom behind me, and it's like, I don't know what this movie is. I don't know what this is. Steve, what is this? He's like, hold on. I later did find what it was from, and it was a TV special from like the 80s by a comedian I'd never heard of who did different sketches, and that was one of the sketches.
Was the dancing Jerry Lewis's?
Yeah. He was doing one of the sketches was like him as a bunch of Jerry Lewis's doing the Thriller dance.
All right, it's just like micro targeting a French audience or something. Like, what's happening?
It was like the late 80s, early 90s. I think was the TV special, and I found the reference on like a fan site.
Okay.
Was it Fire? What was the Angel Fire? Or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's going back.
Yeah, I was like, I'm amazed
this is filled with a bunch of 8-bit sprites and
yeah. Fantastic font type. It was immediately after that we were going past Sino, and their tent flaps were down, because if they were up, people just assumed they were open and went in.
Right.
And in like one of the slots of the tent flaps, like, that's a coffin. How many people have coffins? Because we had our coffin.
Right. I know that's one of the things that Easy Bake Coven has as a coffin for the eulogy of the living, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It's me and Steve, and I'm like, let's poke inside to see if that's our coffin. Maybe some of our people are in there. And all of Sino are gathered around the coffin. And they're like, is this your coffin? And this is the height of my trip. So I'm like, yeah. Steve's also quite gone, because he's had the good stuffs.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
And like, okay, well, do you need it back? Because like, we don't know how it got here, and all my decision making skills are gone. And Steve's both are gone and is aware they're gone. So he's like, find out. And I like go up to who seemed to be the leader of this group, and I'm like, because like Steve started to do like shroom talk, where it's just word salad.
It's just nonsense.
And before he like panicked and ran off.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I'm a little bit more with it than him, because I've had the old stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, shrimps. And they're like,
okay.
I'm like, do you want us to help you move it back? I'm like,
that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the help.
So like, there was only 2 moments of drama during the entire time, and that was hours.
Because the coffin got stolen twice.
It got stolen twice. The first time was like, You goons.
You scamps.
Yeah. The second time, because they just moved it like 10 feet behind our camp.
Sure.
It's a coffin. It's heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
It took all of Sino plus one shroomed boy myself to get it back to our camp.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, we learned that Flake Town was another camp. They're one of the ones that did grilled cheese.
Nice.
They had a smaller cuddle puddle. There was like an inflatable pool with a bunch of like squish mellow stuffies.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. It was great. Whoever the trickster was had taken their pole, flipped it, spread all their shit all around.
Well,
like
that's rude.
Yeah. They were eventually found out post burn, and kind of like people were not happy.
Yeah.
And his apology was not an apology.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
One of those guys.
Until he got shredded apart.
Yeah.
Because I think I was trying to say this earlier. The 11th principle is consent.
Yes.
Especially at this regional burn. Like that's
taken very seriously.
Yeah.
Like sexually, interpersonally, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Just
hi, nice to meet you. Are you a hugger?
Yes, that kind of thing.
No, my name is Potato Vomit.
Did they give you a playa name? I'm aware that people get nicknames bestowed upon them at these things sometimes.
I wasn't given one. I did give myself, because Sean had a bunch of "Hello, my name is."
Nice.
So I gave myself a bunch, which is how I ended up with Shuddering Chads, because my O looked like a D. There's a bunch of other ones I gave myself. I just changed it every day so that people would look at it and be baffled, because it's too many letters for the brain.
Sure.
And but I think, I met a couple people with names. Most of the people in my camp don't have one. I did meet a person named Pinecone, which I think is the like congealed energy of Burning Man in a single human body.
Fantastic. That's what I would want from somebody who goes by Pinecone.
And their laugh sounded like if you're going down a steep hill on a razor scooter and kept trying to hit the brakes.
That's very specific. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that noise.
One of the events that I thought was a troll, but turned out not to be, because I later saw it on. I saw the video. Just so I can find it. Haircuts by Dell.
Oh no, that feels like a thing that would be real.
So in the description, it goes on about how Dell Lumens is like a renowned artist. Only like the wait to get a haircut from them is, months in planning. But for this 1 hour, they're going to get haircuts at Burning Man.
Neat.
I had actually met Dell immediately upon entering the burn, and at the gate, they took our IDs just to make sure we are who we are, and then they rickrolled us. Dell is a child. Dell is, I'm gonna guess, like 11.
Wait, like a literal child?
Like a literal child.
Oh God. I would not expect an actual child to be at this event.
So it is technically open to families.
Okay.
It was weird when I did run into some children. So really like that, and they're also very extroverted. Like Dell had more personality and charisma than I'd ever had in my entire first 20 years of life.
That's bonkers.
Yeah. Like they gathered our IDs and information, brought it over to the person that was checking them off the list, and then came back over and said, like, "Do you want a song?" And yes, and then they rickrolled us. Like the full song.
Outstanding.
Not just like
I love this kid.
Yeah. I also ran into some kids when I did 8-bit perler thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I was like a little I think it was just like a little tipsy at that point, but it was still like, oh, I'm around kids. I got to be a good boy. It was a nice little break from the excitement, just an hour to put a little Mothman together.
Yeah.
And listen to the kids talk about how, like, yeah, we'll do a burn. I'm never really allowed to say this, but like my tent's over on Fuck It Lane. And the one little girl was like, yeah, my teacher asked where I was going. I said I was going to Burning Man. She was confused.
Camping. You're going camping.
Camping is the word.
I'm going to a drug rave.
Yeah. She's like, no. It was
I'm helping with the food glory hole. What the fuck, kid?
It's right beside the coffee.
You ever watch Morbius at midnight? I haven't.
That sounds like a threat. So over by the Playa Pharmacy, that was they intentionally put the more kid-friendly camps on that end.
Sure.
The furthest other end was Love Lab.
Okay, that feels like a reasonable separation.
Yeah, and like the kid stuff wasn't infantilizing.
Good.
It's like I wasn't looked at weird when I showed up and wanted to do like arts and crafts.
Yeah, as you shouldn't be.
Right. Whew. Good golly. Okay, I think here's a good place to stop because I'd like to talk about the more like deeper in impact that Burning Man had.
Let's get into your after event feelings on the thing. We'll close out with that. Because we know the kind of desire, but also trepidation you had kind of going in. So what do you feel now?
So one of the reasons I wanted to do this in general, as well as some other things I want to try, is I switch between being very bored with existence and being very disappointed. This world that we live in is not the one I was promised, which is fine. But it's like so much shittier. Like, man, it's not a party, but like, no, it's hell.
Yeah, it's like, it's like you think as a kid, the adults get to do whatever the hell they want, and it's just like, oh man, my life's gonna be great once I'm a grown up, and then there's Nazis everywhere, and
I didn't really think that was.
And then
was gonna be flipped.
And you have to pay taxes, and you get pulled over by cops for bullshit, and have to pay tickets for stuff.
Like
and
rampant racism.
The ton of fucking racism.
The monies are not in your favor.
Nope.
The one thing that I will say was true that was promised is you can eat ice cream whenever the fuck you want.
That is true.
That's the one.
You can eat ice cream whenever the fuck you want.
Are there consequences? Sure.
For you specifically, yes.
Yeah. But everyone else, whenever you want. So I'm also not quite on the trajectory that I would like with my creative endeavors. So writing, movie, etc.
Yeah.
I still have a incredibly monotonous day job that doesn't pay super great and destroys my schedule and social life. And I've kind of reached a point where every day I say fuck it. Just like every day is a fuck it.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, what kind of adventures can I wrangle out of this existence before it either gets blown to smithereens or I spontaneously combust? And one of those adventures that I've wanted to do since I've heard about it from the Nate was go to a Burning Man. But also share my adventures with our audience of however many people.
Sure. And I think there's such a... I think these events carry kind of a stigma, right?
Yeah.
Where people just assume that they are giant drug orgies, where people wear satanic costumes and engage in bullshit rituals and such and so forth.
Find it.
I mean, you did find all those goat statues, and some of them did have like and some of them had like Luciferian shit hanging from their necks and whatnot, which that's fun. But it's also like people don't really know unless they actually take the time to talk to and get to know the people who go to these things, that they are like creative, community-driven, positive events meant to help people grow and explore and come together.
Like, yes, there are drugs and mayhem,
sure,
but there's also sanctuary, so that when you get burnt out on drugs and mayhem, you can feel safe.
Yeah, you can go take a nap and have some orange slices and feel good.
And those are the adventures I want to have. Not the drugs and orange slices. I don't like the seeds.
I will say, vitamin C from orange juice is supposed to help with your trip experience, particularly with mushrooms. To my understanding, the first time that I took mushrooms, I initiated it by throwing some emergency into a can of PBR. And we called it a flu moon. Is the trashiest thing that I think I've ever done in my life, and also that trip was great. I had a very good experience.
Let me make sure I'm following this correctly. So you called it a flu moon because the vitamin C was for flu, but also because you put an orange in a blue moon.
Except the blue moon was a PBR. Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's you 100% nailed the origin of the name. Yes.
God damn it. My one prior adventure with shrooms, I got like a quart of orange juice, and it was just nice to have that grounding. I don't know if it made the trip better or not, but it was nice to have like a grounding drink.
Nice.
So what does that mean for the podcast? I'm not quite sure yet. I would like to possibly in the future do. So we have our second unit episodes.
Yeah, and this is now an on location, as you mentioned, which I think is a very fun thing to explore.
I do want to tie it a little closer to DeRazzled proper.
Yeah, I think that would make some sense. And to be fair, we were trying to do that this time. It's just that the Morbius thing didn't happen. Though, who knows? We might end up having to cover that fucking movie anyway.
When the actual Razzie Awards are given, I suspect that Morbius will at least be nominated.
I highly suspect. They should put it into theaters a third time to try and make a real push for it.
We were just all busy that.
Yeah, we were all busy that weekend.
Come on, guys. Sony.
Fucking idiots.
In the same way I was duped into not bringing a cooler, you were duped into putting Morbius in theaters the second time.
Absolutely amazing.
But we've talked on here about having Caleb from Making Martini go to the bathhouse.
Right.
So we could do an on location, maybe in the way that in the past we've done a Can We Be Friends?
Yeah.
Maybe doing a Can We Be Friends on location.
Ooh.
Then once we've done that, we can go about being mayhem monsters. Possibly finding somebody to go to the body shop and Can We Be Friends? Also, there's the Sibian.
Amazing.
I don't want the whole podcast to turn into that, obviously.
Right.
Having that be like a sometimes food.
Yeah, a little snack here and there amongst the development hell and the fixes and such.
It might be. This is more like a nuts and bolts conversation for later, but it might be nice to think about having some on location audio equipment.
That thought has crossed my mind. Yes. Because phone audio is not the best thing in the world.
It's not. I'm glad that I did listen to some of the clips before the end, so I realized, all that jewelry I'm wearing is obnoxious. So I apologize for those 5 or 6 clips where you can hear me jangling.
It's fine.
But I enjoy doing this podcast. I want to do more with this podcast. I do like talking about movies. I do like fixing movies. I do like learning about what the fuck happened with the movies.
Yeah.
And while going on pervert adventures are not necessarily film related, as I mentioned before, I wake up to a daily dose of fuck it.
all the time.
And while it might be confusing to an audience member to tune into an On Location and then follow up the next week with, how are we going to fix Morbius? Again, fuck it. When my intent changes from trying to A, make money, or B, gather followers, to C, I just want to find some kind of serotonin in this.
Yes.
Then I don't care anymore. That's not to say that I would not like to make money off of this.
Sure.
And quit my day job.
That would be beautiful.
Following. But, we're in our second year of doing this, and we've hit like a nice round number of between like 50 and 100 listens in the first month of an episode.
Yeah, generally.
And trying to find a way to break out of that is miserable.
Yeah, it's like on the one hand, I desperately want to. I want to see it grow much, much more. Yeah. And on the other hand, I don't want to kill myself and ruin the fun of this, because I love doing this. I love talking with you about these things. I love learning all this stuff. I love editing this stuff.
Yeah,
and which I'm sure a bunch of other podcasters are like, you fucking what?
I still don't understand why you enjoy editing.
I genuinely do. I don't understand why. But yeah, like I don't want to force it to become this gigantic thing and then destroy my love for it in the process. Like, if it becomes a bigger thing, wonderful. Let's fucking embrace that, but not at the expense of our ability to do other things and get by and explore other things.
Well, like the right way to do this would be to create a second podcast where we do strictly On Location type stuff.
Yeah, so we can just lean into the Bourdain pervertry.
Right. But the amount of time and money and effort that would take to have an entire second podcast where we do that would ruin not only that podcast's fun,
but this one and our regular schedules. Like,
there's hopefully some stuff happening at work where my schedule will be a little bit more lenient. But even with that considered, having a full other podcast where I go on adventures probably financially couldn't handle it.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to get us some remote recording equipment for Christmas,
that would be fantastic.
That'd be fucking great.
But for now, and I think for the foreseeable future, I enjoyed Burning Man. I've learned a lot about what I need to work on personally.
Nice.
Aside from that brief moment in the porta potty where I became one with the universe, there was also quite a bit of me realizing what I don't like about myself.
Okay.
Which I didn't voice to my fellow campers at the time, because it wasn't like I was in danger of jumping into the fire.
Sure.
Put out at that time.
Yeah. I just want to roll around in the ashes a little bit.
God, that mannequin was terrifying.
Jesus.
Just a pile of burning embers and a mannequin with a gas mask on in the dark.
No, I hate that. I absolutely hate that.
You can hear in the one audio clip where I suddenly become a cat, just like lowering myself to the ground. What is that right there? But no, I went back to the camp and joined a cuddle puddle and was like, okay, I've learned this thing about myself. We're gonna be around some people I feel safe around, and I'm gonna call my therapist back up.
Yeah,
which you did.
Which you did, yeah.
And I just before we're recording this, actually, she and I made like a plan for like, okay, well, these are the things you need to process. We're glad that you came to them literally organically.
Yeah.
But having that knowledge in hand, I want to go forward and to not dislike myself for those things.
Yes.
And part of that is having more adventures where I experience I would say fucking weird, but also just like the fun parts of what the world has to offer instead of Nazis.
Honestly, like,
and having a person on our voting ballot that kills dogs. Like,
God, fucking hell. Just,
this is not the universe I was told about as a child. But also, I don't think my parents could have predicted it.
Yeah, I don't think when my mom started watching and talking about Dr. Oz on Oprah that she ever saw coming, him giving a speech in front of Hitler's car and realizing that he killed hundreds of puppies. Like, he doesn't even live here. You shouldn't be able to run for office here if you don't live here. This is stupid.
We shouldn't even get to that part of the logic stream. It should have ended at he does what, the puppies?
But we just learned that recently, and we knew the New Jersey shit first. Like that, just he misspelled the name of the borough he fucking claims to live at. Fuck, just
yeah. So because of the world we live in, I would like to find the weird shit that's fun to do.
Yeah.
If you have any suggestions, feel free to email us at the email that Joe knows that I don't.
At DeRazzledPodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you. We have a couple of ideas. We also are going to cover Showgirls and Starship Troopers.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to doing the normal thing that we do. We're gonna, first, I do want to acknowledge real quick because our schedules got kind of fucky and whatnot. So spooky season got a little away from us. So we are going to do a little bit of spooky. We're not going to do Friday the 13th this year like we had initially planned. Congratulations to Matt and his wife on their newborn baby.
Their second kid.
I didn't realize it was her second kid.
Yes.
So congratulations on your second, Mazel Tov. And
we'll get you next year.
We'll get you next year. We'll do Friday the 13th next year. So instead, Jack and I are going to suffer through Tom Cruise's The Mummy.
I've already watched it.
Jack's already watched it. And I already know how stupid he felt it was. I have yet to watch it, but we're gonna get there. That will be our spooky season offering for, I guess it'll be the start of November at this point. Yeah. We did say we were extending spooky season into November, so that's what we're gonna get.
Verhoeven month.
Then we're going to jump into Verhoeven month, where we're going to be talking about Starship Troopers and satire in film, and then we're going to talk in depth, do a full episode on Showgirls,
our traditional style.
Yes,
we're going to
getting back to an actual Razzie winner for Worst Picture with Showgirls. So that will help round us out into December, if I'm not mistaken. So look forward to all of that. Yeah. And of course, if you want to reach out to us on social media, you can follow us on Twitter at DeRazzledPod, on Instagram at DeRazzled_podcast, Facebook at DeRazzledPodcast, and TikTok at, I think, also DeRazzled Podcast.
Yeah, I changed it.
Yeah, I keep forgetting if it's DeRazzled Podcast or DeRazzled_podcast. You'll see our fucking logo. You'll know it's the one. Yeah. It's just not Dullboy_Jack anymore. Please rate and review us everywhere that you find podcasts. Thank you to I don't have a specific poll for right now, but thank you to everyone who has been reviewing us and keeping us up in those search rankings and whatnot. It really means the world to us. You guys are too good to us, and we hope to continue giving you things that we hope are too good or maybe too stupid to put into your ears.
We have some great collaborations coming up as well.
Yes.
We'll get into that.
Yes, we just had our James Cameron episode of the Jacked Up Review podcast come out. Check that out. There's 9 damn podcasts that were a part of that one, and it was still like a really fun, like fast-paced discussion about everything James Cameron. We did another episode with them that we recorded about Denis Villeneuve just recently. We're going to be doing something with the Esoterica Cinema podcast in the coming months. Just all sorts of stuff lined up. So yeah, keep an eye out for us. As horrible as real life can be, we're not going anywhere. We're still going to keep on trucking along here.
Just remember to wake up every morning and say, fuck it. Just do whatever the fuck you want.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
If it doesn't hurt anybody and everyone's consenting, fuck it. Oh, I mean...
Razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle. Oh, fuck.
All right. Recording stopped. That's a good hour and 15 minutes of material there. Oh, God. You killed Instagram.
It lasted the whole show.
Oh, man. I totally missed all of the sweet 18sex.xyz comments that we got in the chat. Private dating chat girls. Blackheart water spurt emoji 98. I'm not sure what the 98.
I remember that camp.
Oh, fuck. I wish I was still recording at that point. All right, I'm ending the stream now.
Yeah.